thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the Road to Perfect Credit. I'm Tiffany V, CPA and credit specialist. Thank you so much for joining. I am so excited for us to get started and really helping you work on achieving and reaching your financial goals. So today's agenda, so we are really, I'm all about telling the story and setting us all up for success. So today's agenda is going to be jam-packed with all things credit and finances. So we're going to talk about the 5-step process of how you can use credit and build your finances to achieve and reach your financial goals. Repairing your credits like the pros. So I want to really give you guys the control to make sure that you are able to get your credit in a space that will help you reach those financial goals. Also, some credit repair secrets, things that you may not have known about credit repair, credit bureaus, the whole credit process. We're going to talk about those tonight. Also, starting to fix your credit right now as soon as possible. And then finally, to achieve your financial goals. So a couple of housekeeping items. There will be a Q&A session at the end. So please submit all of your questions through the chat. Our team members will be collecting all of those so we can walk through those at the end. The other thing, if you guys can stay muted, that would be great. So just make sure that you guys are on mute during the presentation. And then at the end, our Q&A session, we can chat. All right. So, yep. Okay. So getting started. So I truly believe with more information that we have, the better the ability it is for us to make some good decisions. So this training is really to set you up for success from any potentially past decisions that may have to you felt like a failure. But with this new knowledge, we really want to get you set up for success. So we really want to say goodbye to bad credit, getting denied, also debt collectors, you know, all of those questions and calls and letters from the debt collectors. So we really want to get from that to what I call success lane. So, you know, higher credit scores, saying goodbye to debt, and really meeting and achieving your financial goals. So let's see here. So another good bonus, if you stay to the end, we will be giving out some free financial guides to really keep you focused on your goals here in 2022. So, you know, your credit and debt guide, taking control of your finances, as well as money matters, you know, paying debt versus saving money, and also you're, you know, stopping the living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. So let's go here. Right. And really quick, let me just make sure everyone is muted because I still hear a little bit of background. So if everyone can make sure that they are muted, that would be great. Thank you. All right. So a little bit about my company, Sense Savvy. So who are we? So I founded my company in 2016. And it really started out as, you know, financial literacy, being an advocate for teaching all about finances. So it started out as a blog and really giving out financial tips and tools. I'm the owner. I'm a certified public accountant. I've been licensed with the state of Michigan for the last 13 years. And it is a financial literacy company. So we have a couple of different lines of service, including personal finances, which is what our credit education falls under, our credit repair services. Also, again, I'm a CPA. Tax season is near, is almost here. So tax preparation, tax planning. I also help small business owners achieve their financial goals, their business goals, by helping them with bookkeeping services. And then finally, most recently, I was licensed to become a life and health insurance broker. So really, we really want to be your top financial resource for all things finance. We are headquartered out of Michigan. That's my home state. And again, teaching the importance of financial literacy. And with that, over these last 6 years, we have assisted thousands rebuild their credit. And everyone has a story about credit and what led them to the place that they're at in a place of success. So I really tonight want to talk about the stories, starting with some of the people that I have worked with in the past. So first we have Maya. So Maya, I met about 8 months ago. She was really looking to just start make better decisions. So she didn't necessarily have like, I want to buy a car or I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. She just wanted to make sure she understood how credit worked and just had a better handle on credit. So we worked together for a few months to get her really making better decisions overall financially, which did ultimately lead to really good credit results. Additionally, Karina. So Karina, I worked with last summer. She was awesome. She had a plan and a focus. She wanted to move downtown, really in my area, downtown Detroit. She was looking to really increase her score so that she could qualify on her own to be in an awesome loft downtown Detroit overlooking the water. So we put a plan in place, and these were the steps that she needed to take to get there. And after we worked together a couple of months, I am happy to say she found her 3-bedroom loft. It is beautiful, downtown Detroit, overlooking the Detroit River. Again, all the stories, everyone has one, and I'm really here to help your story and how we can get you to where you want to be. And again, several of these similar stories, Toya, Robert, Andrew, all wanted to succeed when it came to their finances, their financial goals. We worked together to get them on a path to reach their goal. So the next story is more of a personal one, and it's mine. So I wanted to tell you really about me, my family, and how we got to a place of setting, financial goals to reaching them. So for me, it starts in college. So I went to Michigan State University, and in 2007, graduated with my Bachelor of Arts in Finance, and then a year later, my master's in accounting. So I always knew really two things. I wanted to be a businesswoman, and I love numbers. So that's really what kicked off my really love and appreciation for finances and ultimately credit, and really getting a good understanding of that. So then a couple of years later, after college, my then fiance, now husband, and I really had huge goals that we wanted to achieve. So thinking kind of like the vision board, right? So we kind of sat down and said, okay, these are all the things we want to have in our future, and we want to start working towards it. We wanted to buy a house. We had been renters up until then. We really wanted to have a place of our own, and making sure that we were, rooted and investing in something. We wanted to buy new cars. We had our, our high school cars, and we really wanted something new. To start businesses. So looking into our future, we really wanted to start a business. Again, I always wanted to be a business owner. We wanted to also save money. Also, coming out of college, lots of student loans. I know a lot of you can relate to that. So we wanted to get those in a place of removing or paying them off, and really, quite frankly, getting rid of those. We wanted to invest, right? So investing in different types of financial assets to build wealth. We also wanted to start a family. So thinking about what that meant from a financial perspective. So ultimately, all of this being financial, building generational wealth. And it looks like, oh, we have some extra people in here. Let's go ahead and add them in really quick. So let's see. All right, perfect. Okay, so yes, really wanted to build generational wealth. So we wanted to stop living paycheck to paycheck. And when we thought about all of these things that we wanted to do, the first step was credit. So we had always knew kind of general concepts around what credit was. So, you know, we'd use it in college. We knew the basics. And I remember my parents always telling me, listen, pay your bills on time and you're going to be good, right? So that's kind of the extent to it. So I knew, like, make sure my bills are paid on time every time and I'll be good. But of course, life happens, specifically the life of a financially struggling college student, right? My husband and I were in school, you know, things happened. And really, with pertaining to our credit, there may have been some bumps along the road. So we knew, okay, if we want all of these things in the future, the first stop is credit, making sure that we understand where we're at this point. And I even remember I was telling my husband, in college, I remember specifically a pizza restaurant. They would always have like a credit card company who would be in front of this restaurant, and it would always be, oh, open a credit card, get a free pizza. And I mean, the college students would flock to that, like opening up all these credit cards just for a free pizza, a free t-shirt. So not a lot of the financial literacy behind it. So once you're out of college and you're ready to, you know, get your own apartment, house, car, it really comes into play. So thinking about, all right, so where do we start? So again, knowledge is power. In order to know kind of where we stood from a credit perspective, we had to know what was reporting, right? So pulling that lovely credit report. So how many of you guys know kind of the sections, the main sections on a credit report? Just put that in the chat for me. Main. All right, so let's talk about it. So thinking about a credit report. So the main sections, really there are kind of four. So we got our personal information, right? So our name, our address, date of birth, social security number. Sometimes our employment information is put there. Then we've got, you know, our account information. So husband and I pulling our reports, looking through all of the accounts. So the different types of loans we had, credit cards, the current balances on those, payment history. So that was like the second kind of main section. Then we've got the inquiry. So we're looking at all of these inquiries and really seeing, okay, there's something such as a soft inquiry and a hard inquiry. So the soft inquiry being kind of when you go to your mailbox and it's like, Tiffany, you've been pre-approved for whatever card. So nothing that I went out seeking, but just pre-approvals really don't impact your credit score at all. And then there were the hard inquiries where we were actively going out and looking for credit. So then the final is going to be the negative information, right? So collections, bankruptcies, liens, judgments, all making up the report. So we sat down, pulled all of my husband's credit reports, and literally this was us sitting in my apartment. Shock, right? Surprise. Not just of the negative items reporting, but really the information that was just quite frankly wrong. It was wrong. It was not accurate. It was just inconsistent across the reports. So again, we're thinking, okay, we want to buy a house. We're getting married. We want to buy this house. And your credit report is showing all of these negative things, these incorrect things. So when the lender goes to pull this, like, this is how we are showing up, right? Financially, this is how we are showing up to the world. So it really got us to thinking of, hey, credit is really, really, really important. Of course, it's, again, your financial reputation. So again, here we are trying to get our first house. We're showing up and the credit reports and the things on there are just inaccurate and error, right? So then also ultimately it decides if we're going to get approved or denied. So we're really just wanting to make sure that everything on there is right, because it could really mean the difference between, are we getting this house or are we not? Even employment decisions. So did you guys know that some employers use employer credit to make employment decisions? It's absolutely crazy, but we do see it a lot in the like financial industry. So companies that are dealing with others' finances, we see this a lot. of their employees, seeing how their employees are with credit and are they responsible and making good decisions. It can really control your life. Oh, if everybody can mute, thank you. Perfect. Yeah, the employment decisions. And finally, just ultimately controlling your life and can keep you from achieving your goals. So thinking through, so we looked at our credit reports, and then we've got our scores. So in addition to the report, we ultimately, all of the lenders, they won't read page by page your credit reports. They are going to use a summary or a summarized tool to figure out kind of where you stand, and that is your credit score. So pulling my husband's credit score, we were kind of over here in the red, and we wanted to obviously get to the green. So credit scores and then the makeup of the score. So starting to understand all of the factors that go into your score. And remember, I told you, my parents had said, listen, Tiff, if you pay your bills on time, you're going to be good. But look at this. Your payment history is only 35% of the story, right? There's another 65% of the story that has nothing to do with how well you pay. So really understanding it wasn't enough just to pay our bills on time. And how do we get my husband's credit to where it needed to be so that we could start achieving these goals? And that's what kind of sparked my deep interest in credit. So I began my research. I started to study the credit system, the credit bureaus, and it was very eye-opening, the things that I was learning about, specifically around how errors can impact your score, errors, inconsistencies. And just to give you guys an example, look at this. So this is what I learned. So even something as simple as an incorrect name on your credit report, boom, 20 points gone. An incorrect balance. And remember, we've got 3 credit bureaus, right? Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Tons of information being reported, right? So a lot of opportunities for things to go wrong. So an incorrect balance, 45 points. An incorrect credit limit, big 45 points. And remember, in the makeup of your credit score, utilization is huge. That's 30% of your score. So we got to make sure that that's right, because if the credit limits are wrong, the calculation of your utilization is wrong, and it could really impact your overall score. Late payments up to 110 points. And you know, the culprit and the worst of them all is going to be your department store cards. So like your Macy's and your Nordstrom. So really look out for those and late payments, and making sure you can pay on time every time, because one late payment from a department store could really have your score take a huge hit. And of course, collections and bankruptcies. So those, are really the worst of them all. So this is all of the stuff that I began learning, and knowing all of this now, I said, okay, I understand kind of what factors are driving our credit and how things are getting reported. So how can I implement a plan and that we could come up with and execute on to help really build his credit, continue to build my credit? And that's where I came up with the 5-step process. So this is really how we went about taking control over credit and really rebuilding. First step, which we talked about, getting our credit reports from a reputable source. So making sure that you're getting your credit reports directly from the credit bureaus. Sometimes when we use third-party sites, the information on there may be a little outdated. They may not have pulled the most current report. So really making sure you're getting your 3 reports, because you've got to look at all 3 together, from a reputable source. Then step 2, we went through all of the negative items, the focus being those because obviously negative items negatively impact our score. So looking through every single report at all of the negative items, then looking at opened and closed accounts. So making sure, hey, okay, this report says this account is open, ooh, but this one says it's closed. Well, it is it is open. So why is it, reporting as closed? And once we went through that review of all of that information, we disputed the negative items and we removed the negative items. Now, specifically, we removed items that were errors. So this is just wrong. This isn't mine. I don't know why this is here. It is wrong. Inconsistencies. So let me ask you guys a question. When you pull your report and pull your scores and you see very vastly different credit scores, has that happened to anybody? So one report will say, oh, you're at 685. The other one will say, oh, you're at 594, like huge differences. Let me know in the chat. Yeah. So when you see that, something is wildly off because your score across reports should not be that different, right? So that's when I say inconsistencies, and even just the information being reported being inconsistent within the report. And then finally, non-compliance items. So this would be where this is my item, it is my account, but it shouldn't be on here anymore. This is very, very old. The statute of limitations has expired. This should not be here. So that specifically, when I see negative items or when we saw the negative items that fell into one of those categories, immediately got to dispute this. This is wrong. It's hurting our score. And we have goals here that we want to accomplish. So this has to go. So once we went through that process, the last and final step, and this is an ongoing step, is to build positive credit history. So being a responsible credit user all the time. Again, that does involve heavily making sure that your bills are paid on time every time, but also not overextending ourselves, right? I like to use the saying, living below our means, right? You don't ever want to live above your means, and you don't even want to live at your means, right? Because that's kind of how we get into the cycle of paycheck to paycheck. We want to live below our means to build that gap, and really just focusing on positive habits financially going forward forever. So that was the 5-step process. And again, really quickly here, this is kind of what I was talking about inconsistent scores. But what I see here, so this is what I would say is pretty normal, right? So we only have like a 2 to 11 point difference. This makes more sense to me. But again, when you're seeing those wildly different scores, ring the alarm, something crazy is going on here, okay? So through that process, a couple of eye-opening things, secrets you may not know about. I want to know if you guys know about this. So did you know, first and foremost, these are the biggest lessons that I wanted to share with you, but did you know that, number one, credit bureaus are not governmental agencies? How many people knew that? Okay. And how many of you guys knew that credit reporting is optional? Yeah, it's optional, meaning it is not required. Yeah. Credit bureaus actually make money from your credit reports. And I kind of knew this, right? Because again, all of the pre-approval, getting up my information, going to the mailbox and seeing 10 more credit cards that said I've been pre-approved. So I knew the credit bureaus were at least giving that information or distributing that information out. Now, the making money, well, that makes sense. You're not a governmental agency. You are a for-profit private company. So making money from credit reports. Also, specifically making money from credit reports that may not be that accurate, right? Because if you think about it, a lot of lenders may be reaching out to you if they see inconsistent or lower credit scores. So they may be reaching out to you to supply funding to you. So it really isn't in the credit bureau's interest to make sure that things are right on your report, because again, they're making money by sending your information. So if everything was accurate or there wasn't anything to report, they wouldn't make a whole lot of money, right? Also, did you all know that credit sweeps are illegal. So I don't know how many of you guys have ever spoken with like a credit repair company or credit disputing company or what have you, where they say, oh, we'll just sweep everything and you'll be good. Everything's going to be gone. Yeah, no. That's illegal. So if you ever hear anyone talking about that, you now know, nope, stay away. We don't want any of that. Illegal. And then finally, and this is big, credit disputing alone is not enough, right? So when I think about achieving my full financial goals, my family needed a full financial process in place to get where we wanted to be. Yes, credit disputing and making sure your credit report is a part of that, but there's so much more after you've done that, right? So like you get the information correct and current on your report, the story isn't over. There are so many other things that have to happen, all that, like I like to say, all the plates spinning to get where you want to be financially. So we thought about the type of kind of credit person we wanted to be. And I love this visual because it's very, very, very eye-opening. So let's say that we wanted to buy a car, right? So this car here, Toyota Camry, $23,000 purchase price, right? So let's start with person A. So person A, they have a credit score of 730, which is considered good, right? Almost on the verge of very good. So we're in that, like we're getting that green range. So the interest rate that is offered to person A, given their score, is 1.99%, meaning their payment, when we do the calc here, is $368. And total interest, because there is interest on this loan, is about $1,300. So all in, person A, when the purchase price plus the interest is going to be right around $24,000. Okay, that looks good. Let's see any other options. Person B. Person B, credit score 599. That, remember, is in that kind of red range on our credit score kind of rainbow there, in the kind of bad quadrant there. Look at this. The difference in the interest rate, 14.99% versus 1.99%. What does that mean from a payment perspective? Oh my gosh. Same car, $514 versus, look at this, $368. Huge difference. That's monthly, right? Huge difference. Look at the total amount of interest person B has to pay. The exact same car. But what's driving that? Pun intended, the credit score. So total payments, almost $34,000, $10,000 more for the exact same car. The credit score. That is the power of credit. And quite frankly, who do you want to be? I want to be person A, right? I would love to pocket that extra $10,000. There are so many other things I could use $10,000 for. So that's who we wanted to be. That's what we aspire to. So again, we wanted a full financial process in place to get where we wanted to be. So focusing then again, though, on finishing out kind of this credit review or audit, if you will. So what I did was I focused on all of the negative items, again, looking for those three categories, right? Errors, inconsistencies, non-compliance. And did you guys also know, and I probably should have said that on my did you know slide, 80% of credit reports have errors. 80%. That is huge, right? So focusing on the negative items first and foremost, things that can be disputed, quite frankly, everything. So if you're looking at your reports and you're seeing, inaccuracies and errors across all of the different types of things that are reporting, everything can be disputed. You focus on the negative items and you have the credit bureaus do an investigation and make sure that they can verify and validate that information, right? So then thinking, okay, well, Tiff, and even we were looking at, okay, well, hey, this negative item is mine. It's not inaccurate. It is, or it is mine. It's negative and it is mine. That again does not matter, right? Because for two reasons. One, reporting is optional, and the credit bureau must investigate. If you find an error, if you find an inaccuracy, even if it is yours, this is a reporting issue. And I think a lot of people get the two confused around, not necessarily that it is my obligation, it's my liability. Yeah, that's a separate matter. The fact of this is I want information being reported correctly on my report. Not to say I don't owe it, but you need to report it correctly. And that's what the credit bureaus have to do. And if it's wrong, if they've reported it wrong, it has to be deleted. It must be deleted. Okay. So after some time, me and my husband were working hard, trying to get credit in good shape. What happens? Well, we saw on his score a 200-point increase in 12 months. It was insane. He went from a 492 credit score all the way up to 694. Okay. What did that mean for us? That's what it meant. This is our first house. We purchased this in June of 2011. This meant for our family, no more renting, no more rent increases. Oh my gosh, if we had another rent increase, oh my goodness. No more. I had an upstairs apartment. So walking quietly, not to disturb my neighbors downstairs, no more of that. We had our own place. That is what it meant. That was the power of credit for us, and everything that we had done over that year to get to this place. Another thing that it meant, this guy. So this is my husband. This is the first car purchase after the credit increase. I mean, you couldn't tell him anything. I mean, we worked hard. He was celebrating. He had his blacked out wheels there. I mean, it was good. So, and even today, so this again was right kind of out of college, again, starting our life together, and even, now, so continued implementation, over the last decade of everything that we learned about credit, and really kind of where we are today. So fast forward to 2022, here we are. So this is the crew, this is the family. So we've got, my husband, me, and our three beautiful children, our blessings, SJ, Malachi, and the newest to the bunch, Miss Bellamy. So again, over the last decade, we've been implementing all of the things that we learned kind of right out of college. We've been saving, we've been building our credit, maintaining, because it's an ongoing process, right? Like, we don't just stop once, oh, I got my credit into the 700s, I'm good. No, that's not how it works, right? This is a continued process of making good choices every day to reach your goals. So today, and of course, continuing to build our generational wealth. So building your credit today. So what are the steps that you can take to start on the process to reaching your financial goals? Number one, pulling your credits, right? We got to know where we stand. We got to know where everything is, where we're starting. Disputing that negative information, again, that falls within those categories of being errors, inaccuracies, inconsistent information, non-compliance. Really trying to make sure that you have 5 to 10 positive accounts. That's the goal, because we want to, number one, we always want the positive to outweigh the negative, but continued going forward, positive information is the goal. Of course, paying your bills on time, every time, and also paying down your credit cards to make sure that if you can, keeping the balances to 30% or less of the limit. So if you have a credit card that has a limit of $1,000, trying to, at all kind of points or any point in time, keeping the outstanding balance right around $300. right? So just kind of keeping it, because right after 30% is where it kind of triggers kind of higher credit utilization, which can impact your credit score negatively. So now we're thinking, all right, we know what we need to do. Here's what we need to do to get our credit in place, or putting steps in place to get our credit on the positive path. So what are the next steps? Well, if you're thinking, okay, Tiffany, this sounds great. This is what I need to do. This is what I want to do. But right now, okay, I don't have the time. I understand. We are all busy. And while, you know, I'm very pro kind of do it yourself, there are just some things that, you know, I will go have someone assist me with, right? It's all about delegation, right? You want it done right, right? So having someone who is knowledgeable in that area, has assisted others with that. You want it done right. You don't want to waste your time. We're trying to achieve our goals in 2022. And you want permanent results. There are so many times where I even see, and you probably do too, the ads of, oh, I, you know, got my credit score up 200 points in 30 days. Well, maybe it's that's, I don't know, but maybe you did. But then, you know, fast forward another month or two and it's back to where it was. So you want permanent results. And that is really all about kind of doing the work, getting the disputes done right, factually, and quite frankly, the legal way, right? So these are the things that you want. Again, the story and everything that I learned about being successful with my credit and my finances, I want to bring it to you, and I have brought it to my clients, and I'm really, really, really excited about it. So what I did, and here it is I placed all of the information, the process, into what I call the Credit to Success Elite program. And I always say success begins with a single choice. Making one single choice can put you on the right path to where you want to be. So the entire process, that 12 months that we were working hard on our credit, I put it into a step-by-step program for those who are looking to do the same things as me and my husband. You're really looking to reach your financial goals. You want your credit score to increase. You want to be educated more about credit and about finances and financial planning. Let me assist you. That is what this program is. And again, it is more than just credit disputing, right? We know this. That's a part of the story. But ultimately, you've got to make sure that every single day you are doing things that are building your finances in the right way, aside from just credit. So it's so much more than that. And this program is so much more than that. So let me tell you a little bit about it. So my Elite 6 membership. So those who join this exclusive Elite membership, they're first off, they're getting a portal and a dashboard, private, exclusive to them, 24/7 access to all credit and finance tools at their fingertips, right? Also, an elite credit analysis. So again, it's important to know where we're beginning to put a plan in place to reach your goals. So my Elite 6 members, once they sign up, I go to work literally doing what I did for myself and my husband. I do an analysis of their credit reports, and I pull together an action plan specific to them on what we need to do for them to get them into the financial space that they want to be. Also, monthly credit milestone reporting. So it's one thing to say, okay, what happened to my credit? So I can see, oh, my credit score went up 20 points this month. Awesome. But it's also about the why, right? So sometimes, and me and my husband saw this as we were making our way through our journey here, your score will stay the same. And it's like, well, wait, like I paid off this debt or I got this thing deleted, but there's more to it than just kind of the one side. So yeah, you might have gotten something removed, but something else was added to it, or, oh, there was a late payment in this previous month. So really understanding what's going on with my credit and why. So I personally do monthly credit milestone reporting for my members so they understand here's what happened and here is why. A private consultation messenger. So if you think about, a lawyer or going to a doctor just for a consultation, right? Every single time they charge you something, right? Going to a lawyer, well, just to sit down and talk to them is probably hundreds of dollars an hour. So for my elite membership, private messaging for consultations with me. And this isn't just about what we're doing as far as the review of your credit reports. This is any question that you have from a financial perspective, you have access to me for consultation. This is huge, included in the membership. Something like this, again, thinking about like lawyers or, I need to get some legal advice or what have you. There's a cost to that. And with my Elite 6 members, you have access to me through your private messaging portal for any consultation questions that you might have. Again, it's bigger. The process is more than just the credit disputing. So I want to make sure that my elite members understand financial plan tracking. So within their portal, there are tools for financial tracking of goals that you want to reach, your expenses, also creating goals, financial goals included in your portal. And then finally, credit education training, right? Because this program is not meant to be forever, right? Eventually it will end. And typically my clients are in the program for 6 months. That's why we call it the Elite 6 months. But we need to make sure that you're making good financial decisions going forward beyond the program, after the program. So resources to understanding credit are included in your portal. So that you can be well-versed in credit education going forward and you can continue the path of achieving your goals. And also, I am a huge advocate of financial literacy. So giving tips and tools out, I do it all the time. So I want to, in addition to what comes already with the program, I really want to set everyone up for success. So those who are in the elite membership, in addition to everything else that you're getting, I've got a few bonus offers that I want to give to. One of them, the first one being a 30-day step-by-step plan of taking control of your finances. So level setting, here's where I am, where do I want to be in the next 30 days, putting a plan in place. That's for you. A home budgeting template. So understanding the flow of the funds in your house every month, what money is coming in, what money is going out. Seeing it on paper is eye-opening, right? And just making sure that you are staying, remember, living below your means and making good financial choices. I have a template for you to help you budget with that. Debt payoff tracker. Another big part of the process of reaching your goals is making sure that you are paying off your debt to free up cash in the future. So I have a debt payoff tracker as well, so you can track the progress of how you're doing paying off that debt. Buying versus renting. So I know a lot of people are ready to get out of their apartments or rentals and into their own homes. We have a guide here that tells you all the differences between when you are a homeowner and when you are a renter. So just really educating yourself about, if this is the goal I want to achieve, what will it take for me to get that? And do I know everything, the ins and outs of one choice or the other? And then for our first time home buyers, I hope there are a lot of you on here today, just some expenses that you might not know when you're buying, a home for the first time, and that whole home buying process. So altogether, the investment for my Elite 6. So you've got the 6-month program, you've got the financial guide, the budgeting template, all of the things that I want to make sure you have to set you up for financial success. So from a value perspective, right? So when I think about, okay, everything that my Elite 6 get, if I were to put a value on it, if they were to get these things individually from others, what would that value be? So right at 14,500 here. So when I think about, okay, the value, if I could save hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest. I mean, the car example, that was $10,000 right there. If I could save myself the heartache of all this extra interest because of my credit and making sure that I am educated on that, would I do it? Would this be the value for me? Would it be worth it? And to me, yes, it would be, but that's the value, right? I know that those who are still here with me tonight on the training here are serious. You are serious about what you want to achieve and accomplish. You want to be educated on making better financial choices. So normally this whole investment, $997, but I talked to my team and I said, guys, I want to do something awesome to get us kicked off for 2022. And they approved it. They let me do my thing. So for the next 30 minutes, I am offering all of this for $495. Mark, so on my team, Mark, can you put the link into the chat for the next 30 minutes? All of this, not $997, $495. I really, number one, would love to work with you on your financial goals. That is my mission. My mission for my company, Sense Savvy, is to help those who are ready to find financial freedom, build wealth, get out of debt. That's what I want to do. I would absolutely love it to work with you all. Next 30 minutes, that's what we're going to do. Let's see here. I also like to show kind of some results, right? So I talked a little bit about some of my members earlier, about their stories and what they wanted to achieve and what the outcome of that was. Here's some other members and what we're doing. And this is, again, from a credit perspective. So the reviews and the audits that we're doing to get the credit reports right. So you're seeing here, you know, in month over month, 12 deletions, increase of score, 44 points. Over here, we've had a client who basically went up like almost 40 points month over month. So we are focused on doing this the right way, for the long term, right? That's what I want for my elite members, and that's what we aim to give to our members. Remembering, you know, the factual reviews, the 5-step process, putting all of these things into place in the program. That is what we want to set our members up for success. So what do you want? So if you are looking to increase your credit scores, if you're looking to get out of debt, you want to achieve your financial goals, let's get started today. And like I said before, I truly believe with knowledge, with information, speaking things into existence, setting ourselves up for success, it begins with a single choice. Okay. And with that, I would like to jump into the Q&A session. So I am going to stop my screen share here. All right, and let me take a look here and see what questions have come in. Okay. All right. Oh, we are a quiet bunch. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer? Just pop those in the chat. I would love to answer any questions you guys have. No questions? So tell me this, who for 2022, let me just hear about some of the goals that you guys want to accomplish for 2022. One of my goals is to pay off one of my final student loans. And hopefully it'll be eliminated. I'm praying, I'm hoping, but that's one of my goals. What are you guys' goals for 2022? Any homeowners? No, let's see. So let's see. Oh, to get a house. Yep. Yes. Income property. Yes. Building the generational wealth. Income properties will definitely assist you in getting there. And I always say, like, even just our country's history, if you go back to some of the earliest millionaires, they all like owned property. And so getting into real estate investing is awesome. So it says, outside of helping us, can we learn to help and educate others? So is that, I guess that question is that you want to learn about helping and educating others. I think if I'm reading that correctly, or, but yeah, I mean, listen, that's kind of how I got started. Is I needed to first educate and learn about the process. And then once I learned, then I saw that there was a need, especially in my community, for this information and access to financial literacy resources. It really wasn't taught in school. I think the first time I took a financial literacy course was in college and kind of on my way out the door. So I know that there was a need to just understand basic budgeting concepts and how to use credit responsibly, using it to your advantage. So yes, once I learned, I was able then to give that information to others, and it just continues on like that. Yeah. Let me see. Any other questions? All right, I think we got, how do you get rid of student loans showing up? So a couple of ways. So the first, again, how we talked about, if it's reporting, so there's a reporting issue and then there's an obligation issue, right? The obligation of a student loan, typically you will owe that, right? It is owed, but then separately, the reporting on the credit report, that's a separate issue. So typically how I would attack that is looking for reporting issues. So do they have all the right information? Do they have the right last payment date? Do they have the balance correct? Is the balance correct across all of my reports? So I would try to identify those three categories. Remember, an error, an inconsistency, or non-compliance item, and first approach it that way. There is a method of kind of like a good faith reporting option. Typically that for a student loan, typically that would be like a last resort if you just want it on good faith for it to be removed. Typically it's not, especially if it's a federal loan, even private loans. But I would really focus on the reporting of errors, inconsistencies, and non-compliance items to get things removed, right? So from a reporting issue. So then we've got, let's see, how do you get a charge off taken off when the account is closed? Same, approaching it and attacking it from an error, inconsistency, or non-compliance perspective. So looking at like the dates of last activity, has it met its statute of limitations, right? So if it's older, if it's, getting into that 5 to 7 year old range, typically these things need to start falling off. Even inquiries, that's another quick one. As you're looking at the credit report, inquiries should only go up to 2 years. So 2 years or younger. So anything older, an inquiry older than 2 years should not be reported on your credit report. So again, attacking the items on your reports from an error, inconsistency, or non-compliance perspective. Let me see here. Yep. Yeah. And so in the membership, these are the things that we are doing on behalf of our members, right? Because sometimes the communication can get a little tough between the credit bureaus and the consumer. And sometimes, even if consumers are sending letters to dispute things, if they're not sending the right letters, if they're not sending letters that really speak to the laws and the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they may not get the traction and the movement that they're looking for as far as updating the reports, getting things removed. So it is really important. And that's when I was talking about making sure that you are well versed in the credit law so that you are communicating in the right manner with the credit bureau so that you get the results that you need. And sometimes I'll have members, or even in consultations when I'm first starting to work with someone, that says, oh, I disputed this online with Equifax and they didn't fix it and they verified it. Sometimes, and be very careful of those online disputing at the actual credit bureau website, because sometimes if you don't attack it or approach it in the right way, not only will they verify it, but it will be almost set in stone. Like, you're not going to get it removed. So be very, very careful and really, really make sure that you understand the letter that you're sending. Is it the right letter for that situation, for that type of account, and doing that the right way, because it could solidify something that is inaccurate, but there's really now nothing you can do because of the way that you went about disputing it. So just really making sure you're well versed in that, in the laws of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Let me see. I have student loans, but the school I was attending shut down. I heard that I can get my loans forgiven off that alone. True or false? So it depends. So what I would do, though, is, again, following that 5-step process. I never waver from the 5-step process. So if there is something on your report, regardless of what it is, that you believe needs to be removed, let the credit bureau do the work. Send them the right letter. Tell them why you believe that this item should be removed off of, what statute or why, and let them do it for you. I would never say, oh, no, don't dispute something on your report. Let the credit bureau validate and verify the accuracy of that for you. Okay. How does my closing accounts due to high interest affect credit? Great question, great question. So remember when I talked about utilization, right? So that makes up 30% of your credit score. So utilization is calculated off of the limits of available credits you have versus what you are using right now, okay? So let's say you have 2 credit cards and they both have $1,000 limit, and one of them has 0 outstanding balance and the other one has 500. So we've got $2,000 and we've got 500 outstanding balance. So 500 over 2,000 is a fourth. So 25%. Right now, your credit utilization is 25%. Let's say that credit card that has the 0 balance, you're not using it, it has a high interest rate. And you're like, you know what? I don't want to use this one. I'm going to close this credit card down. So now you've eliminated $1,000 because you closed it. So it's gone. You've eliminated $1,000 of available credit. So now your 25% utilization now goes to 50%, because now it's no longer $500 over 2,000. It's $500 over 1,000. So closing accounts due to higher interest rates, what have you, could impact your utilization. So look, your utilization shot from 25%, which was under the 30% threshold, and now boom, you're up to 50% over. That could negatively impact. So what I tell my clients is, it's fine if you don't want to use that card, do not close it. Another way that could impact, if that credit card that you're closing, you've had open for several years, you've now eliminated some of the credit history that you've had. And that makes up 10%, the length of the accounts that you have, that makes up 10% of your score. So if you close that, boom, that's gone. You've lost that credit history, and that could impact your score as well. Okay. Let's see. And this is what it, so in my Elite Six, these are the things that I talk through with my members so they understand. And also in the private consultations, these are awesome questions. These are the types of questions that my members are asking to educate themselves so that once they're done with the program, they know where to go and what to do from there. Okay. I think I've answered all of the questions that I'm seeing here. All right, yep, just making sure. Awesome. Okay, so with that, let me just go back here quickly and share my screen. So, a big thank you to all of you who have stayed on with me during the call. I truly appreciate the investment of your time to come and learn about credit, about finance, and really listening to my story and what it takes to achieve your financial goals. I really appreciate you all staying on. And I know, Mark, if you can put in the guides link, and also just going forward, I would love for you all to join my credit repair Facebook group. We talk about and give out content, tools, tips, videos about all different topics under the credit umbrella. Please join. I love getting questions there. We can engage similar to how we have this evening. A lot of good content there, and we learn from each other, right? And we also celebrate our successes. So I want to hear about the successes that you guys are making and the strides you're making in 2022. And I would love to be a part of that with you, a part of your story. So again, I have my information on here, how you can reach me, reach my team. You can text us. That's our phone number there with questions about the Elite Six membership. I would love to have you guys joining us. We are, getting kicked off here for 2022. Let's set ourselves up for success. 6 months from now, I want to have your story on here so I can tell those who are looking to continue to build their credit about you and the success that you had. And with that, if there aren't any additional questions, yep, we got everything in the chat. Remember, 30 minutes. I think we're about halfway to the halfway point there. If you are interested, again, I would love to work with you. We are taking on new members. Let's get your goals accomplished. Let's do it. I'm ready. So with that, I think we are good to go. All right, perfect. Yep, we got the links in. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of the evening. And like I said, I look forward to working with you all in the future. Text me. I wanna help. Text me. All right. Bye, everyone.